Okay, today we're going to replace the sump pump, which is a pretty common problem for most homeowners. One of the things they most often forget about, you don't find out until it floods. In this case, I came down, was working out, and I heard the pump just running and running and running, and I'll show you how that was. I had unplugged it. Hear the pump going? The pump should automatically shut off. It has a float in there. When the water rises, it shuts the float, it turns the float on, and when it drops, it shuts the pump off. In this case, the pump is just running. Better way to find out than to find out during a flood. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and unplug it. And I have a radon remediation system that is installed right next to the sump pump. So in order to remove the lid, I've got to turn around and undo that. So that's undone and out of the way. I've already removed the bolts out of the lid. With the pump off, this is a check valve, so that when the pump pumps the water out and the pump shuts off, all the water doesn't drain back into the pump, into the sump crock. So I'm going to undo that next. Well, now you see the water that was backed up in the pump that check valve was holding. But we're good to go. We're able now to just turn around and pull the pump out of the crock. Pretty easy. I'm going to tilt this to get the remaining out. Next step, this is where the problem is in that this sump is not shutting the pump off when it goes down. It's that switch in the pump. I cleaned up that mess. I went ahead and got the other pump. I keep an extra pump here at the house just in case one goes out. I've got one and can plop right back in there. So I've got that. And first thing you do once you have the pump out of the hole is undo the pipe. Because 9 out of 10 times you can simply put the pipe in the other pump and you won't have to cut or glue or do anything of that nature. Your house doesn't have a check valve on it. You may have to cut the pipe, and if so, you've got to get if you do, then you've got to get a coupling and glue that in, or you can get a Fernco coupling that just is exactly what I unscrewed on that larger pipe earlier. So we've got the old pump off and out of there. We bring the new pump over. I use Teflon tape instead of pipe thread, pipe thread goo, and just put that on there. On the thread, we give it a couple turns. Makes that seal tight even though it's underwater most of the time anyhow. Then we turn around and okay, this should screw right back in the old hole. With any luck, this will tie right back into there. And plug it in once it's all tied up. Okay, we've got the pump in there, we've got it lined up. Now to put the actual lid on. Okay, we've got the lid on. Okay. This is the check valve. We tighten that up. Make sure this one isn't loose. Okay, I'm gonna run this before I hook the radon system back up to make sure we don't have any leaks and make sure it works as it's supposed to. And let's plug it in and see how it goes. You hear it taking the water right out. Now it shuts off just like it's supposed to. No leaking around there. So, I'll hook the radon system back up. Then I got to clean up all this mess on the floor. But it's done. It's good. So, that was quick. That was easy. And that's something that any homeowner can do in a jiffy. Thank you. We'll see you the next problem I have here at the house.